Technology companies are exposed to rapid advancements and disruptive innovations, which can pose existential threats to even the most established brands. Over the past few decades, numerous tech giants have faced severe crises that ultimately led to their market exit. Brands like Kodak, Nokia, Yahoo, and Palm serve as cautionary tales, underscoring the critical importance of agility and innovation in this fast-paced industry. However, not all companies met this fate. Some managed to execute impressive turnarounds, reclaiming their positions at the forefront of technology. Apple and IBM are two notable examples. Under the leadership of their co-founder, Apple rebounded from near bankruptcy in the 1990s to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Similarly, a CEO's strategic shift transformed IBM, steering it through a crisis and restoring its industry dominance. In today's session, we will be competing in a challenge game in Capitalism Lab, aiming to accomplish a turnaround from crisis to comeback. Huge thanks to the Capitalism Lab and Enlight software team. Our challenge game is included in the latest release of Capitalism Lab. You can download the latest version from their forum, and I'll add links to both the download page and the public leaderboard in the YouTube video description. The Capitalism Lab and Enlight software teams are highly engaged with their community, listening to user feedback and continuously improving the game, which makes Capitalism Lab a fantastic experience. In this session, we'll take on the challenge game. Let's see if we can compete it successfully. You're welcome to try for yourself and compete with the latest high scores from other players. Now, let's get back to our topic introduction, the technology industry. Then we'll jump right into the game. Let's look at two historic examples that illustrate the challenges faced by technology companies. Our first example takes us back to 1997, a time when Apple was reportedly just weeks away from bankruptcy. The company had lost significant market share to Microsoft and Intel, and as a last resort, Apple brought back one of its co-founders, ultimately averting bankruptcy. For this remarkable turnaround, which helped Apple become the world's largest company by market capitalization, the company introduced groundbreaking products like the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad, all designed with a near-perfect customer experience in mind. This example highlights how crucial innovation and keeping pace with technological advancement are for success. Apple embraced vertical integration, managing both its hardware and software development, and even establishing its own retail chain. By controlling its supply chain and sales channels through its online store and retail locations, Apple gained control over both its manufacturing capabilities and customer experience. Thanks to exceptional supply chain management, Apple continues to deliver innovative, best-in-class products. Disrupted supply chains were a primary driver of the global chip shortage from 2020 to 2023, which led to a significant price increases from computers, graphics cards, and automobiles. Several factors combined to create a perfect storm, resulting in these substantial price hikes. The crisis began largely in response to COVID-19 containment measures implemented by governments worldwide. Strict lockdowns and business shutdowns led to a severe supply shortage. Simultaneously, with a large portion of the workforce shifting to remote work, demand for computing and electronic devices surged. In addition to cushion the economic shock, many governments boosted consumer spending, which further intensified demand. When supply is disrupted and demand overheats, markets can become dysfunctional. The resulting chip scarcity not only drove higher but also created a snowball effect, impacting industries reliant on electronics, such as the automobile sector. In recent years, electronics have accounted for over 40% of automobile manufacturing costs. Compounding the problem, the automobile industry had limited control over its supply chains and inventory management. As a result, the global chip shortage hit the auto industry particularly hard, highlighting the importance of robust supply chain and inventory practices. In general, the chip making industry is a very complex and cost intensive industry. Just a handful of chip making brands, the so called foundries, account for most of the global chip fabrication because it is so hard to master the technology. This creates a significant bottleneck when the semiconductor industry relies only a handful of foundries. Furthermore, the bottleneck becomes even more critical around chip making equipment. Only a few companies can provide advanced photolithography equipment capable of producing today's cutting-edge chips. These bottlenecks in the semiconductor industry can potentially expose further risks to the supply chain of computing and electronic devices. So, what are the learnings from these examples and the structure of the semiconductor industry? Among many other factors, the control and management of the supply chain is a key for a technology company. This is a challenge and not easy at all because demand and supply can be highly volatile in this business, in extreme cases such as a pandemic, but also due to constantly emerging new innovations and changing customer trends. A flexible inventory management and supply chain management system is needed to respond to this volatility. Additionally, a lot of input materials and semi-finished products are needed to produce electronic devices, further increasing the complexity of the supply chain. Another well-known technology company that attempted a turnaround after a crisis is Nokia. From around 1998 to 2012, Nokia was the world's largest and most successful mobile phone manufacturer. In 2000, Nokia launched the iconic 3310 model, which remains the subject of internet memes due to its reputed durability and longevity. In 2007 alone, Nokia sold over 430 million mobile phones, holding a market share of around 40%. However, the launch of the iPhone and Android phones that same year marked a disruptive turning point for Nokia. Although it continued to sell many devices, its market share began to decline. Management decisions in response to the crisis ultimately failed to restore Nokia's success. Attempts to compete with Android phones and the iOS-based iPhone using other operating systems were unsuccessful. Initially, Nokia relied on Symbian OS, which struggled to keep up with iOS and Android. Nokia then introduced MeeGo, an OS jointly developed with Intel, but it failed to gain traction. In 2011, Nokia adopted Windows Phone as its primary smartphone OS, but this partnership did not achieve the desired market impact. In 2014, Nokia sold its mobile phone business to Microsoft, which eventually discontinued the Nokia Lumia line, making the end of Nokia's mobile phone business. Today, Nokia focuses on telecommunications infrastructure and has become one of the world's leading mobile network equipment suppliers. It also operates Nokia Bell Labs, one of the most influential research and development facilities in telecommunications and network technologies. An interesting current example of a company facing a crisis is Volkswagen, one of the world's largest automobile manufacturers. Recently, Volkswagen's market share has decreased and the brand is struggling with the transition from fuel-powered engines to battery electric vehicles. I leave it to you to judge Volkswagen's prospects, and time will reveal how successful the company is in achieving this transformation. Today, we'll start the challenge game and pursue the first of 3 total goals: reclaiming leadership in the computer market. Capitalism Lab simulates our real-world economy, allowing you to build your own corporation and test business strategies similar to those of well-known real-life companies. The base game enables us to produce hardware for electronic devices using various input materials and semi-finished products. With the Digital Age DLC, the game introduces an additional technology industry mechanism. Besides hardware manufacturing, we can now venture into software development, internet companies, e-commerce, and telecom. Research and development also becomes more intricate, as the new talent system requires us to recruit and retain skilled talent to drive R&D success and advance product technology. Additionally, we will activate the subsidiary DLC, allowing us to establish a chip-making company to supply cutting-edge CPUs and electronic components. Our scenario is split into 3 parts, and each focusing on one of the challenge game's goals. In today's session, part 1, we'll build a technology company to produce and sell black goods. We'll manage our supply chain, inventory, and R&D as described. In future sessions, we will expand into software and internet industries. Now, let's dive into part 1 of the game. This is the main menu of the game. We are playing the recent version 10.050 release, which can be downloaded from the Capitalism Lab forum. And we will play with the subsidiary DLC and the Digital Age DLC. We will use both DLCs in a new game, a challenge game, which has been added with the most recent version. This is the Tech Corp From Crisis to Comeback challenge game. It says, after years of dominating the computer industry, intense competition has eroded your market share. Embark on a management journey to lead your tech corporation from crisis to comeback. Let's load the game. We will choose a corporate color, which is easy to see on the map, yellow, with this corporate logo and this portrait. We are the LP Corporation. There we are. Here we are in Eindhoven, our starting city. Let's first, before we look into the goals we have, investigate our environment on the world map. We have Eindhoven as a rather small city with a population of 500k. We have San Francisco and Seattle as medium-sized cities with more than 1.5 million inhabitants, and Seoul and New York City with much more than 4 million, approximately 4.5 million inhabitants. Big markets, so to say. And now let's have a look into our goals. Our goal is to reclaim computer market leadership. It's a sub-goal. This means that there will be more goals until we can complete the challenge game. So we need to keep this in mind, that this is not the only thing we need to do in this challenge game. The goal deadline is January 1st, 2000. This means we have 5 years time, and we will try to be faster. Why? Because if we have more goals, then the clock is ticking and the competition will not sleep, right? So whatever we have to done after we have reclaimed computer market leadership needs to compete against more established competitors. Let's see how we manage this. The sub-goals here are annual revenue of our parent corporation of 1 billion euros, annual operating profit of $300 million, and subsidiary with an annual revenue of $200 million. This will be our supplier, supplying us with CPUs, acting as a foundry, so to say, and market dominance of the computer industry. The score bonus is 150 Corporate cash bonus is 400 million, which is quite a lot, and which we definitely will need, because with the initial capital we will have, it will not be sufficient. We will borrow a lot of money, and therefore we will need the corporate cash bonus after we completed this goal to repay our debt. Yeah, and more product classes, software, and a firm type software company will be unlocked as reward when we reach this goal, as well as we attain additional knowledge points. And this is what we will first now investigate. What is our expertise? Now, shall we look into ourselves, into our expertise? And what we see here is that we have already 30 knowledge points in computer, operating system, and e-commerce. And 30 knowledge points which are still available. Since we need to gain market dominance in computer and want to be really fast, we will attribute all of the knowledge points to computer. Now we have 60 knowledge points in computer. Our corporation consists of the LP corporation. This is our parent company, and we will select the range brand strategy. It combines synergies between different products of a product class. So a product class uses one brand. This means that only one investment in advertisement is needed to cover the brand of all the products of the product class. But at the same time, it does not suffer so much from new products added to the portfolio with a lower quality, because if we add products from a different product class, they will establish their own brand and will not impact our established, already existing brand for the original existing product class. This is why we take the range brand. We also have a subsidiary, Fusion, also having the range brand in this case. We will definitely need to set our financial setup, the dividend. Yeah, for the subsidiary, I always set the dividend by ourselves and not let the CEO decide. In this case, no dividend at the moment, because we need all of the capital to invest into our supply chain. When we have a look into the manufacturer guide, we see here, for example, apparel, scenario special rule unusable. So all of the product classes are unusable for now, except for computer. This is enabled. In computer, we at the moment have 3 products to work on and to produce and to sell to our customers. Desktop computer, notebook computer, which is not invented yet, printer. The notebook computer is available now, but not invented yet and not known to us. This means that we need to first research it to be able to produce it and gain market share and gain market dominance. So this means we will be trying to very quickly research the notebook computer. If we check now the desktop and the printer, desktop computer, for the product details and their market size, we see that in the largest market in New York City, it accounts for $38 million. Quantity sold is at the moment 48K. And if we compare this to the printer, then we see that the market is much less. It's 25K in quantity, and revenue is also much less, with only 9 million. So what will be our first step? We will establish selling desktop computers and producing them. What does it take to produce a desktop computer? A CPU, electronic components, and steel. The interesting part here is CPU. The quality accounts for 20% of the overall product, so it's a key component of this product. So it's really relevant that we establish our own CPU with the highest quality, so it impacts our desktop computer against the competition. Next step will be printer, and afterwards, after we invented the notebook computer, we will go into the notebook computer. And with being able to produce and sell the notebook computer, we will also hopefully attain the market dominance in the computer industry. The tablet computer will only be unlocked in year 2000, so this will not happen within this sub-goal. To be full of control of our companies, we will, as a first step, establish a headquarter for our parent company and our subsidiary Fusion. Let's do that. We will do this in Eindhoven. We'll set up our parent company headquarter here. We will add all of the departments. Usually we don't need all of them. However, they are not so expensive and it gives us the full transparency and visibility. This is ourselves. We will already assign an annual salary of us. To us, 100K, not much. Hopefully it grows with our company's success. And the same we will do now with Fusion. We will establish headquarters here. Add all of the departments. Here's our CEO. Then also the other offices, which are for now empty. And here we can also check our CEO and give him directions, what he is allowed and what he's not allowed to do with our subsidiary. We will be very restrictive in this case because what we want to achieve is that our subsidiary really helps us to boost our business and to reach the sub goal as soon as possible. Yeah, and the capital, the very limited initial capital, should not be used for something else. Therefore, we will definitely not allow to sell or acquire tech. We will instruct backward integration to the maximum, as this is our supplier. We will aim for vertical integration. Retail is not allowed. Production and R&D is allowed. Everything else will be disabled. The scope of production, here we will only allow the one we cannot disable, the CEO expertise, which is computer. Then we will look into the management policies. Here we will say, never look for better supplies. We will manage the supply chain. We will not trust any artificial intelligence player to manage it. We will manage it by ourselves. It will get quite complex. And also this applies to the retail stores. Internal sale, never change it. This is the setup. For financial, we will not allow anything. To change trading budget, R&D, advertising budget, issue new share. So everything is disabled. And because we want to manage all of this, this is our crucial part of our supply chain for our parent company. So we will need to take a lot of the control over it for now. Okay, that's it. So first of all, we said that it's very important to invent the notebook computer as soon as possible. So this means we first will, and this is one part of the digital DLC, we will search for talents who will do the research and development to invent the notebook. Notebook is part of the product class computer. And here we see in Eindhoven, some with skill 90. San Francisco, even one with 100. Seattle's not better. Yeah, we will go to San Francisco to do research and development on the laptop, on the notebook. We will now buy an R&D center here. Set it up. All 9 units will be attributed to product research. We will hire the most skilled computer developers and R&D a new product, the notebook computer. This will take approximately 1 year. So in January next year, 1996, we should be able to produce and sell the notebook computer. Usually one of the competitors will be faster. With more expertise, high level of expertise, will be faster and invent the notebook computer earlier. Let's see if they also produce and sell it earlier. So additionally, we will definitely produce and sell the desktop computer. So we will do the same for the desktop computer. We will improve our technology to be always ahead of our competitors. Computer. Eindhoven is good, I think. Yeah, we'll go to Eindhoven. We will set up an R&D center. Let's do here. Again, we'll use the full layout, hire all of the highly skilled researchers, and start R&D this time of the desktop computer. Now we need to choose between 6 months, 1 year, or more years. We will choose to have a very fast tech advancements against our competition in the market. We will first choose 6 months. Afterwards, we will switch to 1 year, because within 1 year we can gain an even higher tech advancement. Yeah, it's almost triple of what we get in 6 months. So it really pays out. But for now, to gain speed, we will choose 6 months. That's it. And the same for printers. Let's check where we have good talents remaining. Probably New York City or in... Let's go to New York City. R&D center here in this area. Computer product class. Hire all researchers and do research on printer. And here we will do the same approach, the same strategy. First, quick advancement, later invest more in longer research projects so that we gain even more. That's it. Okay, so now what does it take to produce a desktop computer? A desktop computer needs a CPU. This one will be supplied by our subsidiary, Electronic Components and Steel. Let's check in Eindhoven. There's a harbor, a seaport, and this supplies us with the necessary import products. Electronic components, steel, and also CPU. The CPU, however, is of rather low quality of 32. We will have initially 30, so only 2 points ahead, and it's quite expensive. And this we can do by ourselves in the subsidiary and gain also the revenue from it, as this is also one of our goals. So what we will do next is we will also invest into the CPU technology. So we will look for talents in the semi-product class and find the best ones. Probably again New York or Seattle. Let's go to Seattle. We'll go to Seattle and here into this area and set up an R&D center for fusion. We'll set it up here. We will hire the full team. Semi-products. All of them, start R&D, CPU. This time we will do a different approach. We will do an R&D project for 1 year. Why? Because this fits very well in our schedule. Yeah. First of all, after 6 months, we will have an advancement in product technology for desktop. Then 6 months later, CPU comes in and improves our product. And then 6 months later again, desktop computer will even be improved again. Also within 1 year, we will research notebook. So we will have benefit from a higher CPU. Rating product quality already when we develop and manufacture our first notebook. This is so far for R&D projects. So we will return back to Eindhoven. And now let's quickly check if we have everything set up. We have set up our expertise. We have set up our brand strategy. We have set up financial actions. We have set up the policy. Yes, this means we can now go with CPU. Production as input material is silicon. And we will establish this here. We'll buy 1 factory. Which will be producing with 5 manufacturing units, 2 purchasing units, and 2 sales units, CPUs. will link to silicon. We will get it from the seaport. Maybe later we will produce it by ourselves. Yeah, we will take another step into the vertical chain. Yeah, to do and accomplish vertical integration. We will also produce silicon, but for now we will only use our limited initial capital to produce what is really essential for us. Now let's quickly set up the production in all manufacturing units. You only need to do it once. Another CPU is produced within a few days. There it is. We will not do anything with the pricing. This we will let to the CEO, which is the manager of this company. We will also establish a warehouse. We will really need it because there will be soon more factories needed for CPUs because one is not enough for the demand we will face. And therefore, the warehouse will help us to buffer a little bit and additionally distribute to all the factories which need CPUs. There it is, CPU is ready. This means now we can, next step, we can establish a factory for LP Corporation. We'll set it up here. This time we need 4 purchasing units, 3 manufacturing units, 2 sales units. We will purchase steel from the seaport. We will purchase CPU from our own Fusion warehouse, and we will purchase electronic components from the seaport, and now we can produce our first desktop PC. There it is. Here's our desktop PC. We will reduce the price a little bit to have higher flexibility with margin management in the retail store. Again, we need a warehouse. We will link to the desktop computer. There it is. Like this. So now we have the desktop computer produced. Now we will go to our largest market and will sell it in a computer store. Our largest market is New York City. Yeah, we can check it, double check it. Put the desktop computer, product details, New York City, 38 million, Seoul 30, Seattle 14, San Francisco 13, and Eindhoven 4 million. This means New York City is our largest market. Let's start here and scale up. The city CBD is here, and usually within or close to the CBD is where most of the customer traffic can be expected. So our retail store, our computer store will be set up there. Here. And I have a user-defined layout for the desktop computer, which consists of 3 purchasing units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales units, and 1 advertisement unit. And we will link it to our warehouse in Eindhoven. For sure, we will have kind of high freight costs of more than $40 per piece per unit. This is kind of expensive. However, due to the complexity of the supply chain, we will produce in one city and distribute to all cities. Yeah, this costs us some freight costs, but it's easier to manage and we have less risks to somehow run into bottlenecks. which will be quite critical, which we will see later. Let's start to sell it. Here it is, our desktop computer. We will set a price according in a way that we will reach a little bit higher overall rating than our city average competition. Just to remind us, the retail stores in Capitalism Lab follow the marketing mix, the 4 Ps, which is promotion, reflected by the brand rating, currently 0, product, which is reflected by the product quality, 30, very low, price, which is reflected by the price, this makes up the overall rating of the product, and place. Yeah, place determines the customer traffic. So that's why we picked a location close to the CBD. And now the only thing we can quickly change is the price, and we will reduce the price to improve our product rating, that our overall product rating, yes, it's 3 points higher than the city overall. And next, we want to also invest into brand. Quality takes 6 months. We know this already. Brand, we can already invest with advertisement. And I will not do it by myself. We will not do it by ourselves. We will employ a CMO to do this for us, to relieve ourselves of the micromanagement which is necessary. Let's look for candidates. Let's find a good CMO, someone with very high marketing expertise. We can pick Sierra Johnson, hire as Chief Marketing Officer. We will instruct her to decide over products to advertise, media firms, target brand rating maximum. Yeah, this gives us the highest brand rating and gives us a good market position, and prefer our own subsidiary firms. Yes, that's good. So now we will go back to New York City and see what happens. Our desktop computers are supplied to the retail store and they are sold, and already now we gain some profit. Very good. And now our CMO will start to choose a media firm and soon will connect to one of our sales units, and then also our brand rating will improve. While this ramps up, we will do a second step. We will also invest into printer. Printers, we definitely also need to have the highest market share compared to all competitors. So let's start early. Printers, we look into the manufacturer guide, produced with electronic components and plastic. Electronic components also have a high quality impact on printers. So this means this will probably be another semi product which we will produce with our subsidiary. For now, we will save the initial capital and not invest into that, simply acquire it from the seaport in town. And now for printers also, we will set up another production, a large factory. I think it would be sufficient space. We will have 4 purchasing units, 4 manufacturing units, and 1 sales unit. Plastic. Plastic once again. Electronic components. Very high demand at the moment for electronic components at the seaport. However, I believe this will work out. There it comes. First printer. Reduce the price again to have more flexibility with the margin at the end of our supply chain, which is the retail store. Of course, we need a warehouse again. It serves as a buffer and distributes the product to all the retail stores where we will sell it. that is available. We will also here reduce the price. And now we will go to New York City and also sell printers. As we anticipate that the demand for desktop computers will be so high, it's really a huge market in New York. Yeah, we'll leave this store and add new floors just to sell desktop computers, and we'll establish another store which will sell printers and other stuff. And as our capital is now almost gone with all the investments we have taken, we will now borrow the first time money. Check the situation for Fusion. Fusion is still fine. Even Fusion is already profitable due to the high price for the CPU, $200. We'll go to financial actions, P Corporation. Our credit line is 80 million, so we will pick 40, borrow. This is enough. We will now set up another retail store. Probably around here. 42, this is good. And again, we will pick a user-defined layout. It's very similar for printers. We'll connect to the warehouse. Then this, and we will do the same as for the desktop PC with setting a good price, a low price, and we will increase the overall rating of the product and boost demand. There, demand kicks in. Good. Here we see that already here our sales units are not able to meet the demand. We see here in purchasing units, the yellow bar is maximum. That means that supply is okay. And in sales, we see that the red bar is higher than the yellow bar. This means it cannot sell enough. Yeah, demand is higher. So what we will do now is we will add another floor and also add all the units needed to sell desktop computers. And now we accomplished already to be the leader in the desktop computer market, which is fine. We'll add also this one. It's good. One product. We are already the market leader. Only 2 to go. Laptop, notebook, and printer. And also in the printer market, we are now the leader. Let's check. Okay, price is fine. Here we can a little bit increase already the price, still being with a higher overall rating than our competitors. That's good. Let's now check our supply chain in Eindhoven. We are producing desktop PCs with one factory, and this gets tight already. We see this here. No, storage is empty and demand is increasing. For printers, it seemed to work. Yeah, situation is stable in supply. Our CPU, we always have to check our CPU. We have a little bit in storage, so this is fine for now. What we will do now is to make sure that our retail store is properly supplied. We will already now duplicate this factory and produce even more desktop PCs. We will add another input and another output unit. And we have just seen in the screen, maybe if you were aware, that others also started to produce desktop PCs. So there will be definitely a couple of competitors with us. We can increase the price a little bit. Also for printers, we can increase the price. Now, gradually, the overall rating of our product will increase because the brand is improving. The brand is now already 11, will improve to around 95. add to our overrating, and this means we have space to increase our prices. This we definitely need to do to quickly get profitable. We spent a lot of money in R&D and in our supply chain, so we need to get profitable soon by setting proper prices. So this seems to recover now. Yeah, this is recovering. So we can go to New York City and still observe that this store with all floors only selling desktop computers still cannot satisfy the demand. So that's why in this one store where we sell printers, we will also add another floor to sell desktop PCs, desktop computers. There we are. Again, increase the price. Now's the time for a little bit of micromanagement to really make sure that we earn good money. Hopefully we already in March get through the break even of our company. We see here that this store, it's okay. And we see here that there's a few pixels of another competitor coming into the market, pushing into the market. Let's see how he behaves. There's somewhere another computer store. A desktop PC is sold from a competitor. This one is still not meeting demand. And I also see here in our warehouse that we are not able to produce enough desktop PCs. And the reason is that we simply lack in production capacity. We have a little bit a problem with electronic components. They also seem to be very limited at the moment. Do we have the money to also set up production for electronic components? Not really. Only 18. But we can borrow money for Fusion and then also go into electronic components. Let's check what is needed for electronic components. We need chemical minerals, silicon, steel. Let's first duplicate the firm here. Not enough cash. That means for us borrowing more money. Not that much, maybe this amount. And use this money to invest into our production capacity. There they come. We will link to our desktop computer factory, our new one. And hopefully it resolves our situation. For electronic components, also Fusion needs a little bit of more money. Will therefore Fusion also, credit limit is quite low. Still we will borrow the money and invest into a factory for Fusion. Let's do it here. 4 purchasing units, 3 manufacturing units, 2 sales units. So again, we need steel. Steel is now also produced by another supplier, but it's more expensive. Yeah, price is higher and freight costs. Same quality, so this is not really a good deal. We need to purchase plastic and silicon. this seems to be a mistake. Let's double check. Chemical minerals, not plastic. Chemical. Now electronic components are produced. We will also need a warehouse. Input, storage, output. We will pick up our electronic components. We will not take care of the pricing. We leave this to the CEO of our subsidiary. There are our electronic components. They have a quality of 33. As we are producing now electronic components, we should also invest into our production technology. This means let's search for talents who can help us to improve the production technology. 294. Oh, New York City is fine. New York City, I think we set up our R&D centers here. Let's put here. Semi-products, hire all, start R&D, electronic components, also 1 year to have a big step forward. And back to Eindhoven, where now the electronic components will be shipped to our factories. Now we will here link from the seaport to Fusion. And we will not do this for each of the units. We will use a cool feature of Capitalism Lab, the batch feature. We will, for all factories of the LP Corporation, batch switch the supplier. 4 firms have been updated. 5 purchasing units have been updated. And now they pick up electronic components from our own production, from our own subsidiary. Our subsidiary will gain revenue and we eliminate the bottleneck and the dependency on our seaport. And you will see that very quickly in the seaport, the demand for electronic components will go down as we are not a customer anymore. This is still working. What about here? It does not really help, right? What's the issue? We're lacking electronic components. We are not running with full capacity. You can see this here. There's a capacity utilization rate, which is only 44% at the moment. Now it's increasing, but again, there's a shortage. Missing input CPU. So it seems that CPU will very quickly be a bottleneck. That's why we will duplicate again this factory. Not sure if this works. We have 40 million. Let's see. Yeah, it works. There's our first CPU. From this factory. Here we are. And supply stabilizes. Very good. Now also the production of desktop computers should be more stable. It will take a while until it stabilizes. But we have some desktop computers in stock still. We'll add another output unit to help the two, which also seem to be quite overwhelmed with the demand. Okay, let's now go to New York City and adjust prices again. By the way, meanwhile, we reached the break-even point. Yeah, you see here the little green bars, which means that now we are actually already profitable in the last 3 months. This will soon also be in our annual profit statement. For our desktop PC, yeah, we can now increase the price significantly. And also for the printer, this should be possible. We have already a brand rating of 40, which is quite good. Still, high investments are needed to reach a higher level brand rating, especially for large cities like New York City with more than 4 million inhabitants in this session. It needs high investments to get 1 point in brand. Yeah, this is not the case for small towns like Eindhoven. In a city like Eindhoven, you need less brand investment to reach the same level of brand. Yeah, simply less people you need to reach. However, we have chosen New York as this is the largest market. And once the brand is established for this product class, we can really boost our sales. Yeah. So what is printers also? It seems the supply is not enough. Let's check in Eindhoven. Yes, it's exceeding what can be produced. Why? The reason seems to be that all input materials are quite there. So this means that we need more production capacity. We still have money for it. Let's set up a second factory. There's our printer. We will link with the warehouse, directly distribute it to our retail store in New York. So this should stabilize. Let's go back to New York. We can again increase pricing. Also for printer, I think, yes. Yeah, higher margin. This is not relevant for us. Compact camera we are not interested in. Let's check our competitor. Here's another computer store. This is a competitor. It's Maple 5. Maple 5 is also producing desktop PCs and selling in the store, but only with 1 sales unit at the moment. The overall rating is 38, which is also quite good, around ours. That's why I think they are growing a little bit. However, with only 1 sales unit, this is difficult to grow fast. The supplier is also a factory in the city of San Francisco, which produces the desktop PC. We will return to New York City and again do a little bit of micromanagement. What we see is that demand is much higher than supply, though we could purchase more, so we'll add another floor and sell more desktop PCs. From the same warehouse. Yeah, this works. Good. While this is going on, let's go back to Eindhoven and check our supply chains. Printer stabilized. This is good. Electronic components is still very high demand. Let's see if this keeps up or we need a second factory. CPU is okay. Let's simulate even further. Back to New York. Increase again the prices. Increasing the price can hurt your brand. Yeah, the brand loyalty is at the moment 0. It's not hurting us, but it's not good either. And now we get into the very nice situation that we already have production technology advancement in printer and desktop computer after 6 months. We are now end of June. We will now go to our R&D centers and extend the project timeline from 6 months to 1 year. This means that in 1 year we have an even higher advancement. Meanwhile, in the next 6 months, already the better CPU will be available and the notebook computer. So a lot of things which we can still do while we wait for the 1 year. Go also to printer, start again for 1 year. From time to time, we need to check for the loyalty, and it's around 30. It's not bad, but maybe when after this first year, we need to increase so that the loyalty increases, because our competitors otherwise have an easy way of taking over our stuff, as they are not loyal anymore. Let's go back to Eindhoven. Everything seems to be fine for now. What does our bank account say? Okay, it's fine. We'll go now to New York City and check again if we have the correct price. For desktop PC, it's the case. For printers, it's also the case. Now let's estimate. So here we have a very high demand for printers and still also very high demand for desktop PCs. Printer, half of the market is already captured. Desktop PCs maybe 1/3. So there's a lot of room for selling more, which means it's definitely worth to set up a second store. Maybe we clone this one. Then we need more money. Let's see if we can borrow more money. What's our credit limit? It's 80. That's good. Borrow. This one, duplicate firm. And now we need to search, I think, here in this area. This could be also good. Well, there's already a computer store. 27, 30, 18. What about next to the stadium? 33, 27, 44. Ah, this is good. 44. Yeah. Let's see how it works. Customer traffic is 45 already. Brand rating still increasing. Our sales are also increasing in this store. Advertisement is already reduced, yeah, as our brand rating is already very high. And now as our production, this is not relevant for us, as our production technology has been improved significantly, as our R&D projects finished, we can increase price significantly. Yeah, the quality is now 51. And 41 for printers. We will constantly adjust prices to add, yeah, a lot of, and here, this is interesting. Now the notebook computer has been invented by one of our competitors. Already in September, Single Mind accomplished to invent the notebook computer, so they are able to produce it now and sell it, and already gain market share, while we are still waiting for our R&D project to be finished. This will only be a couple more months, 4 months, so hopefully we will catch up the gap we have now on the timeline. Meanwhile, we will do a little bit of pricing optimization, while we capture almost the full, now 2/3 share of the printer market, and half of the desktop PC market, and we see more competitors entering the market. So what I see also is that supply for desktop computers is low. Yeah. They're all running with full capacity. Yes, So what we will do now is we will add 2 more factories. This one. And duplicate once more. Maybe here. Hopefully this helps us to stabilize. If not, we will need to set up a new warehouse with additional factories and distribute from this new warehouse also to our retail stores. Printers are fine. Electronic components are fine. Now even our storage situation improves. CPU are fine for now. This will change. Latest when we have our notebooks, and people will be very, very happy to buy notebooks from us. Yeah, let's see how it works and come back here. So now we are in October. Soon notebook will be available for us. Yeah, we have why don't we get more market share, higher market share? Yeah, why is this not growing? The reason is that we are not producing enough. Yeah, we added 2 new factories. Maybe this helps us now, as this is our bottleneck. It seems to help. As supply improves now. Yeah, it's getting better now. Yeah, it's getting better. Therefore, soon the market share should increase a little bit. We can also go with higher prices again. Now our brand rating is already very high, 90. Yeah, this means advertisement will soon be stopped, and we will save a lot of expense, yeah, as advertisement is not needed anymore to boost our brand. We are now in December. Now soon, after December, we will be in the very good situation that we can produce notebooks. And this is when it gets interesting and we will be able to reach the goal of market dominance. Yeah, as notebook is the 3rd product of the product class, which is currently available. And if we have the highest market share in all of them, then it is possible for us to gain the market dominance in the computer industry. Let's check back for our supply chain. This has improved. This is also fine. Electronic components is fine. CPU. This is getting an issue very quickly now. This means we need to add more factories. What is the reason for it? Simply not enough manufacturing capacity. As silicon is available, then let's duplicate the firm. Now is the right point in time to increase our capacity for CPUs quickly. Let's see how much money our subsidiary has. Still 60 million. I think this is not enough to... I can borrow a little bit more money. Not enough to really increase our capacity. We've doubled it again from 2 to 4. I think it's good to even add one more. And now silicon gets, of course, stressed. This one. While CPU production recovers and the bottleneck is eliminated in our supply chain, we will now look into our R&D project, which is completed. So now we will need to decide what to do. I think we should not go for only 6 months. We should go for 1 year. We have already a good CPU technology. We are building our own electronic components. Very soon we will also advance our production technology there. Then already our notebook will, in its product rating, quality rating, already in the next 1 year improve. And 1 year later, we will have a big step ahead by 96 points. Let's check for the loyalty. I think now's the time to raise all, to have higher loyalty here. And also the right point in time to use the production technology and produce notebooks. Now we're switching back to our company. We have already now earned a lot of money. Yeah, we see this here, revenue, half of what we need to achieve. Also annual operating profit, almost half of what we need to achieve. And now we will go into notebook and this will boost our target achievement. And also boost demand for CPU. That's why we have invested here into CPU production. Let's see if it's enough. I think not. But first of all, let's set up a factory to produce a laptop. Let's set it up here. We need 4 purchasing units, 3 manufacturing units, 2 sales units. Plastic. You have the choice between 2 suppliers, either the C-port, it's in higher quality, lower price and lower freight costs. So we would pick the C-port, not the competitor. And then electronic components. Also here we have the choice. Of course, we will take it from our subsidiary. The price is high, but quality is similar. Interesting. Soon it should be improved. And CPU. That is our first notebook computer. We will now set up a warehouse here. Notebook. And we see, interestingly, SingleMind has started to produce notebooks already. So they were approximately 4 months before us. Not completely 4 months, but almost 4 months. And they used it to already establish their production. We will set a different price here. Like this. We have higher flexibility in the margin management in our retail store. That's our first notebook computer. And now we will go to New York City, where our product class computer has already a very high brand rating. Let's first check for the rating. It's 93 now. Very good. And now we will build another store only to sell laptops. Let's see where we set it up here, maybe 20. It's not really good, right? 27. Do we have a better space somewhere here? 21, 36, 36. What's happening here? 33, 34, 30. Let's pick these 36 here. Yeah. Good. We have a user-defined layout for this. Notebook computer. And now something very interesting happens. Probably don't have market data yet for laptops. Let's see if we are the first to sell a notebook. Yes, in New York we are the first. Yeah, and in all cities there's no price, no quality, no brand locally available, because we will be the first ones to sell it. So this means that we can set any price. We will increase it a little bit, because we are the only supplier. And since a notebook is very interesting to our consumers, still sales will be very, very high. And what we see immediately is that our one factory cannot catch up with the demand. Desktop PC is fine, printer is fine, CPU seems to be critical. We can add, do we have enough money? Yes, we have. We can add another firm. To produce CPUs. Salary increase for our CEO from Fusion Group. This also means for us that we also can increase our salary. 24 million. This is good. Good salary. Our CMO is 10 million. We get 24 million. Very good. Our CEO gets 8 million. Okay, good. We can also think of, as we have a really high income at the moment, we can think of employing a COO in our parent company and ask the COO to manage our prices. As we have seen, managing prices in retail stores is quite a little bit of micromanagement we probably want to avoid. Therefore, we will look for a COO to take over this job. And we will focus fully on our supply chain and technology advancement, which is complex enough. So we'll look for a candidate with high retail expertise. So our retail units will benefit from the expertise of the COO. And we could check for Lydia. Lydia has a very high retail expertise. No? So Lydia, we will try to hire her as an operating officer. Quite expensive. We will ask Lydia, our COO, to not maximize the profit margin, a little bit more going to maximize market share. Why? Because our goal is to reach market dominance. Market dominance means having the highest market share across all competitors. So that's why we will weight this a little bit higher. Look for better supply? No. No. Pre-order? Never change it. Exactly. Budgets? Change nothing. Everything with us. Yeah, that should be fine. And now with the COO, we will go to New York City at our retail stores. At the moment, we are the manager, and we will now here use this function to set the manager of the firm, Lydia, for every new retail store and every retail store we currently have. That's it. And now Lydia can take care of pricing and everything. Yeah, also for the notebook. While we check for how to stabilize the situation here. So we have one issue with CPUs, definitely. Maybe it's working, but I think soon we need to invest into more. We have enough capacity for desktop PCs, but for laptops, I think we should go for another firm. That is output. Yeah, this improves the situation a little bit. CPU is still an issue. Our subsidiary, yeah, probably needs more money to invest into more CPU production. Credit limit is okay. We will now duplicate this one. To here. And produce more CPUs. Good, we let this be for a moment. What we also can do is, as we need a lot of silicon, to also produce silicon by ourselves. Yeah, this means that we will set up a factory for fusion to maybe set it up here to also produce silicon. This will help to generate even higher revenue. Yeah, we need to reach 200 million. We will need 2 sales units, 2 purchasing units, and 5 manufacturing units. We will be purchasing silica from the seaport. Now we need to set up silicon production, not glass production, of course. Yeah, like this. So now we just now reached the market dominance of the computer industry, as we are also the leader in the notebook market. Yeah, which is good, but still we need to grow, right? We have still the targets of revenue and operating profits not reached, so also for subsidiary not reached. So more work to be done until we reach the goal. So silicon is produced. We can maybe make use of this warehouse. Yeah, to have it available here. And now we can, again, for silicon, switch the supplier from the seaport to ourselves. And we will again switch in batch. All factories from Fusion, batch shipping supplier, 15 purchasing units, 8 firms. This will be quite There will be quite a short-term supply shortage, I think, but it will stabilize soon. Here in our warehouse, we will add another CPU factory, foundry, so to say. Also add it here. CPU, this one. And we will start to link now to relieve the pressure on the other CPU warehouse with our two notebook factories. Okay, supply is fine. So desktop PC is ramping up. So it's not enough anymore. We also need a second warehouse for this one. This means we will duplicate this firm. And establish a second warehouse for desktop PCs. There it is. This seems to be all fine. Printer is also okay. Notebook is okay for now. So now we will switch. We can see here the clients of this first warehouse, and we will switch for this store, which has the lowest demand compared to the others, to the other warehouse. This one. This will relieve demand from the first warehouse, shift it to the second one. And one factory here will not be enough. We will directly set up a second one. Also here, link to the new factory, this one. And now let's see, it should stabilize soon. Yeah, so here demand should decrease. Let's see how we can increase our supply of notebooks. I think in New York City we only have one floor selling, where is it? One floor selling notebook. Yeah, and for sure those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales units cannot meet all of the demand, and we have already the competitor entering, so we need to quickly add more sales units. Book computer. And we will do this also with the next floor. For sure there's enough demand for notebook computers. And here's something which is very, very important while we manage our supply chains. The notebook computer and the desktop computer, they substitute each other a little bit. Yeah, so usually consumers, not like me or others, will not have one notebook and a desktop PC in one household. They will rather have a notebook or a desktop PC. That's why demand for notebook is ramping up, and demand for desktop PCs might in the low run go down a little bit. Yeah, this means that we need to be a little bit cautious for not extending too much into capacity for desktop PCs, while notebook computer demand will increase quickly. And now we see that course, yeah, here demand is higher, what can be supplied. This means we will add another notebook factory. Here it is. I think another one does not hurt. Here it is. Yes, this should help. What we see here also is that plastic is definitely also something which is very relevant for notebooks, and supply is limited at the moment. Let's observe the situation. CPU is fine, electronic components is fine. This is just now ramping up. Maybe we can just add one more to produce desktop computers. Why are we doing all of this? The more we produce, the more we can sell, because the market in New York, where we are currently active with computer stores, is still not satisfied. Yeah, so the production capacity is the limit at the moment. But we see that we are able to grow. Yeah, we see here in our goals, annual revenue of your corporation, that we are now getting closer to the 1 billion US dollars, and operating profit $300 million. Yeah. Also our subsidiary, with all of the factories we have set up, and they are providing our parent company with CPU, with electronic components and silicon. They also now have an annual revenue of more than $200 million. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, this works. Now let's switch back to New York City. No, let's do something else. Check something else. We are now also producing silicon. And why not? While we produce silicon, improve our production technology for silicon. Yeah, so we could again set up an R&D center. And improve our silicon product technology. Silicon is not so relevant for our overall product quality. However, there could be the chance to also sell it to other competitors who need it for other products with a higher product technology. Yeah, we are probably able to also convince them to retrieve it from us and not from the seaport or others. Yeah, let's go to San Francisco. He will set up for Fusion and another R&D center. Let's put it here. Semi products, hire all, start R&D. Silicon, 1 year is enough. And then back to Eindhoven. And here we can do the following. We can say that also others are allowed to buy from us. We have a lot of electronic components in our storage. And also silicon is increasing, so a lot of excess capacity. We can also sell some of this to our competitors. We will not do the same for CPUs. Why? Two reasons. One is CPUs are short in supply all the time. Yeah, at the moment it's okay, but it will soon be different. And secondly, this gives us a competitive advantage. Yeah, if we don't share our high quality CPUs with our competition, we can only use it by ourselves, and we have an advantage against our competition. So for notebook computers, for sure, we should add another factory. We add it here. Book. This is the new factory. That's connected. Good. This group of factories are retrieving CPUs from those two CPU factories. Let's check whether this is enough. For sure, we should add another output unit. Yeah, I think we should already duplicate one to have a little bit of a buffer. CPU from Fusion. This one. Yeah, this helps. And we will add even another firm. To produce more notebook computers. And now we are very, very, very short. Only a few more revenue. And we achieve and accomplish our goal. Before we let this happen, let's quickly review our market position. I think it's interesting to see how we are against competition. So let's first have a view on desktop computers. We are not selling in any other city besides New York. So this means that in Eindhoven, for sure, we will have to fight back the competition soon. In San Francisco, Seattle, and Seoul, the situation is not too bad, but still competitors are gaining market share, I guess. But in New York City, we could accomplish to almost capture all of the market share. Yeah. And even through the high brand rating and the high product rating, we can sell it to a very high price so that the overall market size has increased. Yeah. The quantity sold is also more than 80 now. So this is good. And I think this can even further be increased. Our product has a higher quality, much higher quality as the local competitors, and a higher brand rating as the local competitors as well as the competitors as such. So this goes well. However, we see here, this might be an effect due to many reasons. Yeah, it might be that we could not catch up with production, but also it might be that the market gets a little bit, not sure now, will be reduced a little bit because now we have a substituting product, notebook computers. And notebook computers are gaining market share now. Quantity sold is already 75K, yeah, on a similar level, and is somehow substituting, I guess, in the future. Our competitor has now, this is interesting, a much higher quality, but we can, with the brand rating, we can overcompensate. Yeah, luckily we went into the strategy to maximize the marketing mix in promotion. This is a brand rating. Product, this is equality, will be improving soon. and with our R&D already running for notebooks. The price, which is good balance between margin and further extending market share, and the place. We always look for a position where we have a location for our stores where we have a high customer traffic. So we are able to not let the competitor get too strong. In Seattle, we see that this is different. We are not there yet. First, let's complete New York. Get the full market, and then we will emerge into the other cities. We will not now try to establish brands in other cities, invest a lot in advertisement, reduce our operating profit, and therefore not achieve our goal. Having said that, we will now continue with our simulation. And now, congratulations, we have achieved the sub goal. We successfully reclaimed the computer market leadership. We have done so by achieving an annual revenue of our parent company of $1 billion, an annual operating profit of our corporation of $300 million, which means 30% margin at the moment. Subsidiaries have an annual revenue of $200 million plus. We have the market dominance, and what we achieve now is a score bonus of 150 plus an early completion bonus, 109. A lot of cash, which we need to pay back our borrowed money, our debt. And the product class of software is unlocked. The firm type of software company is unlocked. So probably our next goal is around software, and we gained knowledge points, which we can use to extend our expertise. Now we get the rewards, and let's see what's our next goal. You have been given a new goal. Go to goal report. And what we see here is, again, we have a sub goal. So this means still we have not reached the main goal. So we first need to complete the sub goal. It says create synergies in your corporation by achieving market leadership in operating systems. Outplace competitors by developing a leading OS that becomes the industry standard while also maintaining the leadership in the computer industry with cutting-edge computer technology. Cement your corporation influence across the platforms. So this means we need to still retain our market dominance in computer industry. So we need to grow in this industry. We need to emerge into the other cities. And meanwhile, with the profits we get from it, we can invest into our computer OS to gain market dominance in the computer OS. And therefore, we need to invest. This we will do as last point of the session. The goal we will pursue in our next session. We will, in our next session, invest the 30 knowledge points we gained now into the operating system expertise, so that we are faster in doing research and development on operating systems, because we already have an OS on the market, Do Power OS, which has already a user base of almost 800K, 10 applications available. Not so high quality, but still, this is something we need to catch up with. And for sure, Duo Power, the company, is already doing development of the next version of this OS. So all of this we need to catch up with our financial strength from the computer industry and our capabilities and skills, I would say.